a payouts channel, a 30k booking.
I just woke up in the morning and I've seen Airbnb from September to March. And I was so confused. And then I go on Airbnb and I see the payout of £30,000. I was so shocked. It's just a dream come true. Can you imagine you work a whole year to get 24k and then suddenly one day you just wake up and you have £30,000. And then I moved here in England about 2 years ago, which is really funny because in 2022, when I got here, I was talking to people via Google Translate. Like I couldn't actually speak English.
You were going to be in debt if this wasn't going to work out.
Monday I don't hear back from him. Tuesday I don't hear back from him, so I'm texting him myself. Hi, have you heard anything from the landlord? He told me that the landlord wasn't interested at all. Wednesday, emailing him saying, look, I'm keen on paying £100 above the asking price and I'm giving him 3 months up front. I know the value of this property and I know that it is going to help the contractors and the people that we're working with. So this is my offer. 2 minutes later, he called me, okay, we can have a viewing for tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Hey guys, we just finished up an interview with our student Andrea, who just collected a £30,000 booking from her one Airbnb property. Now, you'll see Andrea talk about when she first started off, she lost all of her money because she had to spend all that on her dad's healthcare. So 2 months in, she's lost all her money, and we're going to find out how she was able to get her funds back up and get her first property doing completely something different. She was working at Tesco and she was working at Sainsbury's, but she turned everything around. Now she's quit her job. She's making her family so proud. Her goal is to be able to take a family on holiday and to provide for her little sister because her parents don't make a lot. She's really changing things up in her family, so stay tuned for the next interview. Lovely to have you on today's call, Andrea. So firstly, I'd like you to just introduce yourself. Who are you? Where do you come from? Just a bit of background for our viewers.
My name is Andrea. I'm originally from Romania, but I grew up in Belgium. I moved there when I was about 10, and then I moved here in England about 2 years ago, which is really funny because in 2022, when I got here, I was talking to people via Google Translate. Like I couldn't actually speak English. And I met my partner, I met him at the gym. And it's so funny because like he came, like we were talking to each other and like I just couldn't understand anything of what he was saying. So
So like what, you guys were Google chatting?
So yeah, I was doing my exercise and like in the gym I was saying him, like I thought he was like the most handsome man in the gym. And like we have some eye contacts, and then he came talking to me, and then I looked at him and I was just smiling because I was just not understanding anything from what he's saying. And then he was going slower, but yeah, no, that was funny. Now thank God I speak English. Now I can actually have conversation with people. But yeah, so as I said, I grew up in Belgium, did all my studies there. I actually dropped of college my last year because, so I came to England the first time in 2020 to study, but obviously my English was really bad. So I kind of like missed the whole year because I just couldn't understand anything. And then Brexit came and I went on holiday and I just couldn't come back to England. So during that time, I just went traveling and I met a lot of people like do not have to work to like have a good life basically. And so when I met them, I just realized that actually I don't need to be a doctor to get the amount of money that I need to be comfortable. So I thought about, okay, well, I'm gonna have a look to start my own business then. And yeah,
Was this in 2020?
So that happened in 2020. I came up first in England. I went to school for about 6 months. Then I went on holiday. Then I stayed in Belgium back for about a year and a half until 2022 when I came back in England.
So just to be clear then, you were on your way to become a doctor. Is that correct?
Yes, I came to England. I wanted to actually go to Oxford University. This is why I live in Oxford now. I wanted to go to Oxford University for medicine. I wanted to become a forensic doctor. I found it really interesting dealing with all the psychology behind, it was just very interesting. So yeah.
Okay, so you wanted to become a forensic doctor. I know you mentioned that you want to start a business. Out of all the different business models out there, what made you want to choose Airbnb?
When I came back, so I knew that I wanted to make my own business and have more money. So I moved to London as an estate agent for one of the biggest corporation there, and I really loved it. I really loved going viewing properties, meeting people, and what I really loved too, it was also the fact that I was having, my clients were actually really satisfied, like really happy. And it just made me feel so happy and so fulfilled to make them feel that way. And so I wanted to do the exact same thing, but for myself. So I thought, okay, I would like to stay within the property industry. I would like to meet clients and to make them happy again, you know, to deliver that exceptional customer service. And so yeah, and one day I actually was on Instagram and I saw one of your feeds, one of your posts, Airbnb, and I was thinking about it, and I think I thought about it for about 2 months before I actually started it. And then yeah, I signed up in your program in November. And this is how everything started.
October, it was October, right? It was towards the end of October.
Yes. I left company in London in end of September.
Do you remember what post you saw that kind of triggered that was the moment, right? That you probably was like, oh, this is what I want to do. This could be it. Do you remember what you saw?
I think it was very close to one of the first Neha's posts too, when she got one of her first properties. And I think I saw the post which was like...
Sorry, Andrea, just for anyone that might not know who Neha is, are you able to just give some context behind that?
Yeah, so Neha is one of the coaches. So she had some properties and then she was helping us with all of our questions. That, by the way, she's been great. She has been amazing all the time. Like, she was great. Yeah, so it was the first time when she got her property, and it was like, the post was she got it only worth £3,000 and she was only 18. She was still going to school, uni. And I thought, okay, well, if she's 18, if she still has a school to go to, and she can do this, she can make all the extra £1,000 a month, I can do it too. And I thought, so I have my family in Belgium. I have my little sister, she's 4. She's a little baby. And the reason why I really wanted to get this extra money is because I want to go back to Brussels as much as I can, to see her growing, to see her, you know, she's 4. Like, I remember last time when I saw her, she was like 3.5. She was barely talking. Now she's having like full sentences. And I want to be part of that.
I can really resonate with that because I have a baby sister too, and she's actually going to be 8 in 1 or 2 weeks. And it's like every few months, she's just growing quickly, right? And you don't even notice how fast things move before your eyes. So going back, like your desire to start this business and to have this extra income was to be able to spend more time with your family and be around them and not have any boundaries and restrictions.
Exactly. Because if you think about it, what job would allow you to go 1 week a month back to like going somewhere for 1 week a month? You know, it's really hard. And at the same time, if they do, keeping a good level of salary, you know, for living, for paying your rent, your bills, paying your food, paying the gym, paying this and this. So yeah, and that was my first motivation. Then I think is also my mom, my stepdad, they're converted to Islam. So they cannot buy a house because of the interest. And I saw your video when you bought your mom a house, and I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. I know, like, my parents, my mom has always done everything for me. And I feel like I want to be like, Mom, now go relax. I am in charge of the things. Like, you've done enough in your life. Like, now go relax, you know. And I was much more on Instagram before and following everything we were doing. You, Uzma and Leena, you know. And I was so inspired by this. I was very, very inspired by this. And yeah, this is the reason why I started this. And I wanted to get kind of like where you guys are now. You know, it's impressive how much, how far you went in like 3 years, you know. So well done, actually. Well done on that.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Andrea. So just going back, so you found us on the post with Nahar, who was one of our students, and we recently promoted her to be our coaches in the program because we showed her all the strategies. She completely found amazing success in the program. I think she's at nearly 6 properties right now. I think she's on nearly finding level 1. And then now she's your coach, right? We assigned her to be your coach in the program. How did you feel then when it came to actually, you know, moving forward with the program? Were you skeptical about it? Or did you know, like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to learn more, you know, how I can kind of have that fast track to success. You know, looking at it now and speaking about it now, it's like, yeah, I definitely want to do this. But in the beginning stages, it can sometimes not be like that, right? You can want to start, but you can also be like suppressing that desire. So what did that look like? Because I'm assuming there was definitely some challenges to even get you to that first step of starting?
Yes. I think I'm the kind of person like I will go in, I will take the risk. If it doesn't work, like, I'll be like, okay, well, at least I tried. But I think once I've seen like the success that you guys were having and that Neha was having too, I was like, okay, well, it's possible. I can do it. I just jump into it, and I was just doing all the modules and like talking to Neha to get some advice, and I just knew that it was going to work. I just knew that if I really put the work into it, something good would come out. I strongly believe in God, and I think that if He put something on my path, it's because it's meant to be for me. So if something comes to me, I will take it and I'll go all in. And yeah, if it wasn't for me, if it didn't work, whereas it would be a really great lesson and really great place where I've learned a lot of things about the business. But indeed, it worked out pretty well. So yeah.
Did you have any prior experience with serviced accommodation, the whole rent-to-rent model? Did you have experience, or were you completely new to this?
So I was completely new to rent to Airbnb. At that point, I've myself rented a Airbnb once in my life, so I didn't know anything about it. But I had some experience as an estate agent before, so I had some experience with landlords, which I think it kind of helped to get a property, but not itself as in Airbnb. I was completely new, yeah.
Just for the people that are going to be watching this video, would you say you need the real estate experience to succeed in this?
Not at all. I'm sure you can do it without it, because I didn't really use it that much. I didn't really use my skills of a negotiator to get a property, and even if these skills can be learned at any time. So I think you can come from any background and do it. You can do it. Yeah.
Walk me through what your journey was like then, from October to now.
Yeah, so in October, so as I said, in September, I quit my job. I had all the money saved up to go all in. And then October, I was looking for some properties. And then unfortunately, my dad has some health issues. So all my money had to go to him to help him, which is completely normal. So then...
Was that everything? All the income that you had?
Yes, because he went back to Romania to get treated. And there, things are pretty expensive there. There's no NHS or something. So I had about £6,000 saved up. Everything went there.
By the way, Andrea, why was it that you had to fund for the healthcare? Are you the only child?
I am the only child, and my dad has some health issues. And unfortunately, my parents, mom and dad, they didn't have great jobs. They're from the generation of they work to get the food on the table and to pay the bills, but not, to save any money, to buy a nice car or to buy a house or to go on holiday. So my dad was earning just enough to survive, actually. So yes, I had to help him with the cost, because unfortunately he didn't have anything. But I think it's really normal for me. If I can do it, of course I would do it. He's my dad or my mom or whatever. Yeah.
And then how did that take you in terms of your journey? Losing that 6K, but you've still enrolled into a program, and I'm sure you wanted to make a success out of it. So how did you go from having nothing to where you are now?
So I started working again, and I was an estate agent. So I tried to find a job as an estate agent in where I was, so I moved from London back to where my dad was living, which is in Banbury, which is a small little town between Oxford and Birmingham. And I was trying to find another job as an estate agent, because I know you can make very quickly money there. Didn't find anything. It was really difficult. For like about a month, I couldn't find a job. I worked in the Sainsbury's. I worked in Tesco. I had different jobs. I worked in a factory. But it was because I knew that this is what I need to do right now for me to get all the money again. Because it doesn't make any sense waiting 2 months for me to get a job because I was an estate agent. Doesn't matter. I need the money. I will do the things that I need to achieve my goals. And I will always go in. I'll always do it, And so I just picked a job like that just to get the money and to get back to where I was before financially, so I can start my business again.
And how long was that period where you were job hunting and working these jobs? How long was that period?
It was until about January time. Yeah, January time. Then in January time, I did get a chance to get a job as an administrator in an estate agency. But it wasn't at all. I didn't like it. I was complaining about it every day to my partner. I was like, oh, yeah, it was really bad.
What did you not like about the estate agent job?
So I wasn't treated as an estate agent. I was treated just as administrator. So doing all the letters, doing all of this. There was no contact with the client, which is what I really loved and what I was really good at. And so in that job, they were playing more on my weaknesses rather than on my strength. So I wasn't great at the job either. You know, writing letters, I've got ADHD, so I'm not focused at all. So yeah, it was just not for me, just being sat at a desk, writing letters all day long. Yeah, what I wanted was more going on viewings, meeting with people, negotiating with landlords and all of this. That's what I was really keen on doing. That's what I love doing.
And were you working on like the property side of things? What were you doing in the background whilst you were looking for jobs, working at Tesco, Sainsbury's, doing the administrative role? Were you working on the business, getting companies set up? What did that look like in the background? Or did you completely stop?
Yeah, so when I first got into the program, I got everything done within the first week. Company, business account, ICO, everything was done the first week because I was really, okay, let's get everything done and hopefully get a property by the end of the month, you know.
I remember you saying that actually. I went through the messages and you said that your goal is to get your first property by end of November. I remember you saying that.
Yes. Yeah, that was my goal. But you know, well, things happen sometimes and they don't always go as we planned them.
At that time, around January, were you discouraged? You know, knowing that, hey, my goal was to get my first property in November up and running, making me extra income per month. But now you were in January and yes, you had the company set up, but there was no property. How did that feel? Were you discouraged or were you like, no, I'm positive, I'm going to keep going?
Yes, so I was still very positive about it. As I said, I do believe that everything that's meant to be for you will be yours and in the time that is meant to be for you. So I was very positive about it and I was like, okay, well, maybe it wasn't my time to get it in November. So I'm going to still working really hard and try to now call agents. Now I've saved up all my money again. And I'm going to start now calling agents and I'm going to do my best to get one now in January, by the end of January. But yeah, overall I was staying pretty positive. So I got all the money back again and I thought, okay, now it's time. I'm going to get a property now this time. So I started calling some agents and it was pretty hard to get a yes. I called, I think, a good 100 people in like 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. And it was just no. And I remember at the time I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I might just go with a deals roster. I have the money, so I just really want to get something, so I will get with the deals roster. And I found a place that was really nice, and I really liked it. And then I paid £1,000 deposit, and then in fact it was a scam, and I never got my money back. It was a scam. The property never existed. The company was very badly reputed for doing same things in the past.
Did you ever go on the viewing for the property?
No. So that was the thing. We were meant to go for the viewing. They wanted to have the deposit before, and then he was just pushing it back. And then at the end they said somebody broke into the house. And so I spoke to Neha about this, and I'm like, I still want to think that people are good and things really happen sometimes. And so I spoke to Neha about it and she said, just ask him for a report from the police. And then his response was like, I'm not going to ask the landlord or report just for you, just so you. And I'm like, I was like so shocked about the service, the customer service, and then I just understood it was just a scam when also I had other people saying the exact same thing about the same company.
Yeah, I think it's really easy sometimes to, in the beginning stages, to let your emotions get in the way and like you see the property and you're like, oh my God, this is going to be it. And then you kind of just go in with that hope. But in these moments, and me, Leena, we really speak about this in the modules, on the live calls, make sure you don't make any emotional decision when it comes to business. And this is something that doesn't come naturally. It's something that me and Leena have had to work on over time. But as a beginner, it happens and mistakes happen. But yeah, I mean, the most important thing is that you were inside the mentorship and Neha was able to guide you through how to navigate in terms of next steps.
Yes, yeah, that's That's why I'm saying she was amazing from the beginning to the end, honestly. And she's still there, you know, she's still all the time supporting. And like whenever I had a question, she was so much into giving a response, giving an answer that was above what I expected, you know, which she's always been so great.
And what lessons, Andrea, did you learn from that moment when you had given £1,000 for a property that didn't exist? What lessons did you learn from that? There's two ways you can see it, right? You can see it as, I just lost here, or you could be like, no, I won a lesson. I'm assuming that you got lessons out of it. And what did that look like?
Of course. So it was, first of all, do not make decisions based on emotions, which I think, as you said, as I was at the beginning, and I really wanted to get a property because I really wanted to get into the business. And then just being so excited about it, just making a decision. Actually, the property was up in Liverpool too. It was like 5 hours away from me. So if you think about it, I was just so excited that I was almost making like the worst decision ever, because it was 5 hours away. I could have not been able to manage it. In terms of profit, it would have not been that great. I think it would have been a lot of stress for nothing. So I thought I've just been protected from getting this, you know, making a bad decision. I do never take things negatively, like why is it happening to me, or you know, I always take the positive. I think I've been protected from getting a bad deal as a first deal, being under stress, under pressure, doing, you know. So yes, yeah, I definitely learned to, you know, make decisions based on emotions in business. Yeah. And I think also my due diligence. The next time when I try to get a deal through a deal sourcer, I've done my due diligence much better, make sure that they have reviews, that people are happy, that they're actually compliant with everything. So yeah,
I think just before Leena goes into it, of course there are videos that me and Leena have created on what to do with deal sources, right? So what checks to do, check the reviews, make sure you only give any kind of payment after you see the property, you see the condition. Also to beware of the Facebook scams. You know, we can go on about this, but as you said, until we actually control our emotions, it doesn't mean anything. All this advice, it doesn't mean anything until we have to sit with ourselves, look in a mirror and say, wait, just slow down. Let's do things properly. And I think that brings Leena onto her next point about the deal sourcer question that you wanted to ask.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to what Uzma was saying. You know, if you ever do want to move with a deal sourcer in the future, just make sure that they have compliance. So you need to make sure that with the anti-money laundering scheme, I believe it's the property ombudsman, some sort of property ombudsman scheme, they need to be with them as well. So these are the types of compliance that you need to make sure that they have before you move forward with them. If they can't provide that, then something is definitely sketchy there. What I was saying before is, Andrea, I've noticed that you've throughout this whole journey so far, you've had kind of a relentless mindset. Where are you getting that mindset from?
I think it comes from my grandma. My grandma was very ill. She had like 13 illnesses, you know, diabetes, arthritis, and like she was very sick, very ill in her bed. But this woman, every time I was calling her, so I was in Belgium, she was in Romania. Every time I was calling her, she was not feeling great in her bed. But she was like, Andrea, smile. Why are you sad about? Life is good. You can walk, you can do this, you can do that, you know? And like every time I was calling her about anything, she was always, Andrea, just smile. Life is okay. Everything is going to be fine. And this woman was so brave and just always so optimistic, so positive. She was not saying the bad in her life. Even if she couldn't do anything, the only thing she could do is just honestly talking and walking a few steps. But that was it. But she had a mindset so positive. She was so positive all the time. So I think I got this from her.
Is she still here with you today?
No, she passed away unfortunately 2 years ago, which that was very painful. I think that was very, very painful. But I promised to myself that when she's going to be looking from me from up there, I'm going to do my best to be as brave as she was. And I told myself I'm going to tattoo that on my arm at some point. Didn't get the chance yet. But yeah, I think very much of the things I do today is because of her, because she raised me up. I grew up with her and my cousin back in Romania. And yeah, she was just so brave. She was just so brave all the time.
I can imagine if she was here with you today, she would definitely be really, really proud, because after your journey, I mean, I think
it's the best time now to what the numbers that you've been able to do with your first property. Are you able to share that with us?
Of course, yes. So I took the property in Oxford. So I've got 2 properties now, one in Oxford and one in Birmingham. The one in Oxford, I got it on the 19th of July. I took the pictures that were from the estate agents already. So they were really bad pictures. Nothing nice, nothing. The property has been fully booked up since the 19th. And at this moment right now, I want a profit of £1,500. And the property, I haven't done anything to it. That doesn't look that great yet. But it's because generally the location and where, I'm so proud of myself because I've done the numbers well and I did all my due diligence.
And how did you manage to get the property from the agent?
So I saw the property on Zoopla. I called them and I told them, look, I'm really interested. I would like to come and view it this week if possible. And then they said, yes, it's okay. We can go and view it. And then I said, it's going to be for a company let. Is that something you're okay with? And they said, we're not for this property. The landlord might be not keen on it, but we have a 6-bedroom property. But I wasn't interested in doing any HMO or anything. So I spoke to him and I was like, look, I'm really interested in this property. Can you please talk to the landlord and see if there might be somewhere we can do for him to agree to a company let? And I could come and view it on Thursday, and that was on Monday. Monday, I don't hear back from him. Tuesday, I don't hear back from him. So I'm texting him myself. Hi, have you heard anything from the landlord? He told me that the landlord wasn't interested at all. Wednesday, emailing him saying, look, I'm keen on paying £100 above the asking price, and I'm giving him 3 months up front. I know the value of this property, and I know that it is going to help the contractors and the people that we're working with. So this is my offer. 2 minutes later, he called me, okay, we can have a viewing for tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I was like, it was so funny because it seems like the landlord would not be interested in it. But then when I realized what the landlord was actually looking for, it was just much easier.
So you managed to get the deal by following up. A lot of people, they call agents, they call landlords, and as soon as they say no, they just throw that contact away and they never call them back again. But people don't know that the deal is always in the follow-up. So it's nice to see that you kind of rang the agent up again, you told them exactly what you want this time, they just gave it to you.
Exactly. And everything was really easy after that. We did the contract, and very honestly, it's a very small agency too. In terms of references, so I haven't had many good jobs, like not good jobs, but jobs like every month. So I was working 1 week there, 2 weeks there, 3 weeks there. So in terms of references, I didn't have work references. My credit score was pretty low too. And I happily, I spoke to them about this and everything was fine in terms of references because I was scared of failing them now and not being able to go with the property because of my references and my credit score. But in the end, everything was completely fine. I think the most important thing is that I built that relationship with the estate agent, trying to catch on. Like, he was Flemish, I was from Belgium, so we were both we were both from the same country. So that connection is so important. And then he was like, okay, like we can talk with the manager and everything. So yeah, in the end, it was very. It seemed to be so easy, but it actually wasn't. It was very stressful.
And I also wanted to ask, with the referencing, I think we sent over an email to the agent. Do you think that sending over that email helped?
I definitely think it helped, yes, because I was saying that I've worked with Uzma and Leena with demo nights before, so I do have the experience. So it definitely helped because it made them feel like, okay, well, she has the experience. She knows what she's doing. So yeah, it definitely helped. So yeah, I was actually so grateful. I was so grateful for being in the program because it massively helped me to get this property too. Yeah.
Andrea, how much were you making in your previous job? If you don't mind me asking, in this admin role or Sainsbury's or Tesco's, how much were you making per month?
It wasn't that much. I think I was making maybe 1,500.
And you rented a property for £1,900. Was that scary?
It was a bit scary because I'm thinking, okay, what if I don't, for a month it doesn't work or I'm not breaking even? That's going to be, or like something happens and I can't rent it out to on any platform. But then it was a little bit scary. But then again, I always knew that I did my due diligence. I knew that if it was going to be in that area and there's like a 2-bedroom, I knew that it was going to work. So again, I was just like, I'm just going all in. and we will see.
So you took on a property, no referencing, background checks. All it was is you built a good relationship with the landlord and you had a referencing email from myself and Leena from our company to your agent. That's all you needed. And you took on a deal for £1,900 per month with full conviction that, hey, this is going to work. So it was a risk, definitely a risk, because, you know, it's not like the rent was 1,000, that even if you get paid and you put some money aside for yourself, you can at least still cover the rent of the property. This was more than what you're getting paid. So, like, you were going to be in debt if this wasn't going to work out.
When you put it like this, indeed, it was a really big risk. But I think sometimes I do go along with the feeling, and I knew that it was right. I just knew that it was going to be the property that I wasn't going to have any problem with it. And it's also the fact, so the way I got the property, so I was working, right? Now I was working every day, and I never had a day off during the week or never finish earlier. On that Thursday, for some reason, I was meant to finish at 3 o'clock. And for some reason, I haven't been going on Zoopla, Rightmove, or anything for like a couple of weeks. Just one day, I went on Zoopla and I saw that property and I called them. I was never finishing my days at 3. So just everything was meant to be. Just everything was meant to be. So I strongly believe in that was meant to be for you will be yours. And I just knew that it was meant to be for me. So I just took it. I just took it.
So would you say then, Andrea, was it pure luck then? Or was it all the work that you did, you know, throughout your whole journey?
I think it's been maybe 30% luck or maybe 20% luck and 80% hard work. Because even if for all the properties that I've called before, I learned my speech and what to tell them. So I was ready for this call to make it as good as possible. And I was ready with everything, all the objections, handling all the objections. Oh, the landlord doesn't want it. Okay, well, what does the landlord want? He wants money, he wants this. Okay, well, I'm offering this. So I was ready because of all the work. But it's also, as I said, the due diligence that I've done back in November. I remember I was always telling my partner, like, if I get a property in Oxford, a 2-bed, I know it's going to work. I just know I'm going to make a lot of profit from it. And I can actually live comfortably from just that one property, just because of the demand in the area. But yeah, it is a lot because of the work that I've been putting in.
And even if it is luck, I don't know if you've heard of the quote, the saying that luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? So even if you did get lucky and, like, you know, the way you're explaining it, like, just one day after work you had a look and you found this property, you went on the viewing the next day, like, just things aligned. Even though that was the case, it's only because of the fact that you've been doing months and months of work behind the scenes. And now you had an opportunity, you were able to grab it with both hands.
No, I fully agree. It's exactly what I think about the situation, yeah.
Okay, so you managed to get the property, you furnished it up. I remember you sending the photo with the keys and the dining table looked amazing. And then I think it was just 2 weeks ago now where you sent on the payouts channel in our community a 30k booking. Tell us more about that. How did that happen and how did you actually close the 30k booking and what does that look like for you for the next 6 months?
So I just woke up in the morning and I've seen Airbnb from September to March. And I was like, and I was so confused. I was like, and then I go on Airbnb and I see the £30,000. I'm like, I was so shocked. And so I woke up my partner and I was like, babe, look at that. Like, and he was like, oh, what's going on? And I was like, it's just a dream come true. Like, can you imagine you work a whole year to get 24k and then suddenly one day you just wake up and you have £30,000. So I spoke to the people, they were French, so I do speak French. So we just connected, again, connection with people. I had them on the call and they were saying, here we go, we're looking to stay somewhere for 6 months. They're students. Is it possible to stay at yours? And then, so we spoke about it. I agreed to. Also, we have agreed to go directly on a direct booking so I don't have to pay. I think it was £8,000 that I would have to pay to Airbnb. So this money had been saved.
You saved £8,000?
From going to Airbnb to go into directly. Yes.
Because you didn't go through Airbnb, you had an additional like £8,000 on top of what you were going to get. But because you were clever about the way you were going to divert the booking, you now have more profit every single month.
Exactly. It is actually just insane. And I think, so I was speaking to her, to one of the moms of the students. I actually met with her in Oxford so she can see the property. And she definitely said that she's so keen going with Marty and with me because I speak French and I made her feel more at home. I made her feel more understood and more familiar, you know. So yeah. And so she came, she spoke to the other moms and they all agreed. And then they're moving in on the 27th of September until the 29th of March. And yeah.
Did they transfer? How did the transfer work? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, so obviously because it's a French account and I have a British account, they can't transfer £30,000 like that. But they are staying in installments for 3 months. Each 3 months they're sending it. But still, it's like every 3 months, it's like £15,000 every 3 months. You know, it's just, if you think about it, it's just so insane. And so that's per month, we're looking at about £2,300 a month profit from only one property. Yes, from only one property.
Have you quit your job now? Like, no job, just doing this?
Yes, I did. Now, as I make all this profit, I think I don't have to trade my hours anymore to get enough money to pay my bills and to just pay what I need to, you know, all the bills and the rent and everything.
For the next 6 months, you don't have to do anything. They're staying in the property, right? Maybe they like call you here and there for a few cleans, but most of the time, students, they usually clean the property themselves because it's a self-catering accommodation. So every month, you're just going to be getting paid 2.3k in profit. Do you know, what are you going to be doing with that money right now?
I'm going to save some of the money to get another one so I can build and scale the business. And after this, I just think I'm going to go take my family on a vacation, take my little sister. I would love her to go to Disneyland Paris. I would love to take her out and go do things with her, going on a holiday. So that would be the very first thing. Yes. Yeah. It's mainly, as I said at the beginning, I think my mom, she's been working so hard her entire life to make me happy and to make sure that I have everything I need. And now I just want to give back. You know, I just want to be like, Mom, relax. Let's go on holiday somewhere nice. You don't have to worry about anything. Everything is taken care of. Just enjoy.
And when are you looking to get your next property?
So I spoke to this estate agent from Oxford. I would like to stay in the same area. So he said he might have something else for me now in September, very similar to the one that I have now, which is perfect. So I think I'm just going to wait until September because I'm going away now in August. So when I come back, I can just have a property ready already there for me.
Amazing. Andrea, is there anything else you want to let the audience know? They're sitting at home, they're maybe wanting to get into this business. What would you say to them?
I would definitely say keep going. Like, if you know that it is worth it, just keep going. Because obviously I had my dad with his health problems, then I've been scammed, and there were times where I was crying and I was calling my mom. I was like, Mom, is that even for me? Like, nothing works. I was like, nothing works at all. And Mama was like, Andrea, don't worry. If it's for you, it's going to come to you. And I think having the support from my family definitely helped push me to just keep going. Keep calling. Nobody answers. Everybody says no. Don't worry. Keep calling again and again and again. And it will eventually come. It will come. It's all about patience. Just be patient and the right thing will come to you. You know, what's meant to be for you will be yours and it will come at the right time. And yeah, I think that's definitely something I would tell anyone. Just keep going. If you know that's the right thing, just keep going.
And then with my last question, I'll just round it up here. Would you say there's anything different between you or anyone else sitting at home looking to do something like this? Do you feel like there's anything different about you that allowed you to get this success?
I don't think there is anything different. I think anyone can do it. But I think there is a difference in the mindset. because some people could fail one or two times and then be like, okay, well, it's not for me, I'm going to try something else. When I think the success comes from failing again and again and again and again, and then you're going to succeed. So it's just this thing, as I said, just keeping going all the time, even if it doesn't work.
Anyone can do it, but the secret sauce is the mindset. It's the mindset and not giving up once you fail. If you get one no, it's not about seeing it in a negative way. It's about keep pushing through. That allowed you to get the success that you did. So if anyone is looking to get into this and is wondering, hey, I want to start this business, don't get into it if you don't have your mindset correct from the start. If you're coming into this and you're thinking that you're going to try it once and it's going to go perfectly for you, this is probably not the right thing for you. But if you're willing to come inside and to go through the trials, the tribulations, you will definitely walk out winning in the end. It's about going through that journey.
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to add to is the fact that the journey is so much more important than the actual success, because we're learning so much, and the skills that we're learning and the experiences are actually so much more important, because with this we can get back to the success in the end. So yeah, it's always about being positive about it, and enjoying the process. It's actually so important, enjoying the process, even if the outcome is not there yet. The one that you want is not there yet. It will come. I think it was really great because it reminds myself the journey, where I went and how hard it's actually been. It actually made me so proud of myself, you know. At some point we were talking about my grandma, and I was like, oh, I'm sure she's actually so proud of myself.
Yeah. There is always that one person in the family line that has to break the curse. And I saw a video yesterday, and it was basically saying, like, when you break out of the generational trauma and the cycles, after you, everything starts to heal, because you are creating a safe space for all the generations to come, and it all starts from you, right? There's this like line, and maybe you're in the middle. Your family, your ancestors, they're all here. But after you, there is also people that are coming. And it all starts with you. The legacy that you're going to leave behind, it's created in these moments. So by you going and doing what you've done and becoming financially free, like that's a really big thing. A lot of people look at that and they're like, who cares about money? But money is such a big aspect to the world. It's what the thing that makes the world go round. And the truth is, without money, life is a ton harder. That's just the way it is. It's not that money, you need money, it's that it makes life easier. And with a lack of money come a lot of issues, a lot of problems for people in life. So just having that solves money problems. And then in terms of like the goals, the next few goals for you, what is that? What does life look like for you in the next 5 years? I know you mentioned the Porsche, you want a Porsche, a nice cute pink Porsche, but what does life look like in the next few years?
So I think I would love to scale the business to around 5 properties, hoping that I'll be making around £5,000 in profit per month, at the very least. After that, I just think I would love to go traveling. I would like to go see the world, maybe going 2-3 months in Australia, 2-3 months in Brazil, 2-3 months in Bali, just visiting the world. And yes, I think that at the moment I would like to not really put any pressure on myself in terms of, okay, what's the next step now? I think I found myself being in this circle where it's like, oh, okay, what's the next thing? And the next thing, and the next thing. And I'm actually not enjoying what I'm doing and not enjoying what I've been working for. So yeah, I think at the moment that's for the next couple of years I'm going to be traveling, and then coming back, carry on with the business, and then hopefully having a family in about five years.
Oh, I love that. You're setting yourself up for success. And I love that you mentioned you want to have your own family in the next 5 years. You're setting yourself up for success in a way that you won't have to rely on a job or go on maternity leave, because I know you don't get paid a lot when you're on maternity leave at all, and you have to return back to work very, very quickly. So you're kind of preparing yourself for what's to come.
Exactly. That has been my plan from the beginning, because I always told my partner, once I will be a mom, I will not go back to work for at least 20 years, because I think being a mom is a full-time job. I don't want to allow myself being with my kids, but then having all the stress from work, and being tired because the kids are not sleeping at night. I want to be fully there for them. So having this business also allows me to just have the time and not being stressed with in terms of money for anything, so I can allow myself being the best mom possible for my kids one day.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, Andrea, a lot of people think that, you know, when you start this business, you have to go to 100k a month, or 10k a month, whatever. But a lot of people don't want that. And we have to recognize that as well. People just want an income that's able to run on its own and you can live comfortably with your family, right? That's the type of life that a lot of people do want, and they just want like a business on the side and also they can focus on their family. And I can see that that's something that you want to do. So it's nice to see that you've shared that with us, and only wishing for the best in your properties.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, everything should be fine. I will keep updating you if there is something else better, good to coming. But yeah.